Hey there, Wastelander. Welcome back to Fallout McFly, my little corner on the internet where I just sit around and talk about Fallout and stuff. And in today's video, oh wait, hold on. There we go, much better. And in today's video, we're taking a look at a very interesting strategy of how to turn your hard-earned caps into legendary cores. Now, I've been doing plenty of legendary crafting recently, and of course in return that's been putting a huge drain on my legendary core stockpile. So naturally, I try to look into how to get more legendary cores. And what do I find? I just gotta grind a lot of events. And then maybe the daily ops if I'm feeling squirrely. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that's it. And then using the Fallout wiki to look further into it, I can see a list of the events and then filter it to which events drop the most cores. And luckily to my surprise, one of these events right here we can activate at our own will. And to me that sounds like a pretty nice grind for legendary cores, so I'm up for the challenge. And this is how I think you can turn your unwanted caps into legendary cores in Fallout 76.
Don't you touch me, you two-bit tramp! Oh!
First up, we're going to head over to the White Springs Station. Or actually, I should say you could do this at any railway station. What we're looking for here is in the Miscellaneous tab, and it's called the Recall Keycard Circuit Board. You'll be able to find one of these at every railroad vendor, but for reasons I do not know, White Springs always sells 2 for items like this. And then adding to this, I'm sure everyone is aware, but in review, Charisma. It will lower most of your vendor prices, at least to a certain point. Unfortunately, this isn't like intelligence, so I think it caps out around 20 charisma. At 20 charisma, it sells for about 1,750, and then I ate a grape mentats, and it didn't do anything to the price, so I'm pretty sure 20 charisma is the sweet spot, which is good because we don't have to put that much effort into it. But you definitely want to get the most bang for your buck here.
At your service, sir.
So with just some quick math, that's 3,500 for 2, and we get 8 legendary cores from the actual encrypted event. So it's almost like you're paying about 218 caps, give or take, per legendary core. And if you wanted to dump, let's say 40k caps into this whole thing, you can probably get 22 circuit boards, so that's 22 events. You're looking at north of 150, I'm thinking like 170 something cores. And like I said at the top of the video, that may not seem like a lot, but this is one of the few events that you can actually activate at will, or once every 3 hours on the same server. So what you're going to want to do is server hop after each time, but essentially you can do it as much as you want, as long as you hop on a new server. Now for this next step, I would just tell you to go to a Tinker's Bench because you have to craft that item into another item. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to jump to the event location because there is a Tinker's Bench there. Now when you spawn in, there's going to be a couple ghouls, maybe a Wendigo. You know what to do. I trust you. But once you've dealt with them, you'll want to go inside the little shack, pop into the Tinker's crafting menu, and let's look at the resources you're going to need to craft this thing. If you scroll down to the quest tab, you'll see an Assaultron recall keycard. And now we've already got the circuit board, but you're also going to need 3 copper, 1 rubber, 2 steel, and a stable fluorescent flux. Now this is why I didn't want to claim it to be a super easy farm, because you are going to need flux, and there's only one specific way to get it, and that's nuking zones. Or definitely be more attentive to the Colossal Problem and the Scorched Earth events, because you definitely have a chance to get a lot of flux, and that being fluorescent. But if you want to nuke a zone and go looking, what you're looking for is glowing fungus and the thing that starts with the R. I'm not even going to try. But besides that, if you already have these items, then it should already be lit up, and you can just craft it. Now next you're going to want to take that key card and put it in the terminal, but before you do that, we should probably talk about a few things to make this event easier. Because you do have the chance of a lot of people showing up to help, because I'm sure a lot of people want those legendary cores. And the loot pool's pretty nice. It's a little small, but it has a lot of nice items. But with a few of these tips, you could probably solo the thing. For starters, I'm just going to show my card build real quick, because this is basically a basic auto axe build. And if you haven't tried an auto axe or an auto melee build yet, they are ridiculously overpowered right now. I hope that doesn't change because it's really fun. And if you haven't tried it, just try it out. But in this specific case, you're just going to watch everything melt. And there were even a couple runs where I thought we were going to fail, but the auto axe comes in clutch every time. As for other tips and tricks, just in case you don't want to do an auto axe and you already know how to put out DPS and all that, I would definitely recommend vampires on your weapons. You know, like a high fire rate vampire's weapon. That'll keep you alive for sure. It's probably a little unnecessary, but I gotta mention it. Probably troubleshooter's armor would be nice, because there's gonna be a lot of robots, especially if you're doing it solo. And then a few useful magazines to look out for: the Tesla Science 1, the Astoundingly Awesome Tales 8, and Live Love 9. All 3 of these, even though they don't stack, they all have the same ability to reduce robot damage by 25%. But once that's all said and done, you think you're ready to go? You just want to access the terminal to the left of that Tinkerer's Bench, input your recall key, And if the event hasn't been done on this server in the last 3 hours, it should activate. Also, this is one of those quests that have an exclamation point, so everyone on the server is going to get a notification, and that's what you want to do. You have a 6-minute timer before you can actually start the event, so maybe just chill out, shoot an emote or two, or you could be like me, I impatiently look at the map and wait for people to pop up. But more often than not, people are going to pop up and help you, which is very nice, because technically the event requires 3 people to take a pylon, but if you're someone who's advanced at the event, you'd probably take all 3 pylons yourself. But watch out for that energy damage, because it'll get you. And then once you think enough people have shown up and you feel confident, you just gotta re-access the terminal and start the event. And the beauty about this event is there's nothing really to wait for besides the robot to come out and people to grab pylons. You can have this event done in 5 minutes or less. And not only does it reward a guaranteed 8 legendary cores upon completion, but you also get 100 caps back, 4 treasury notes, and 1 improved repair kit. And like I mentioned before, a pretty interesting loot pool if you don't have anything from this. I think people do this event either for the legendary cores or that possible fixer drop, because the fixer plan, whether you know it or not, sells for a pretty penny in the vendor. So if not for the cores, maybe just to grind out that plan? But there we have it, and I think that's it for this one, Wastelander. I hope this was helpful to someone, even if you just needed a couple more cores to get that last legendary roll. But regardless, thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. A like is always appreciated, all that good YouTube stuff. And I'm gonna get out of here. There's more Wasteland to be explored. So I will catch you out there in the Wasteland.